Orange, Juice Aerobics. This is episode like 43 or 44. Try to tuck this phone into my headphones. Nice angle. Yeah, the track is covered in ice today. So since the track is covered in ice, I'm working over here instead. So I can hold. Since the track is covered in ice, I'm working over here instead. And today, talk about like marginal differences. Like, I actually thought today maybe I'll set a goal to run a 4:59 mile, but not right now. So in the future, maybe I'll keep doing this for a little longer because I'm moving back to New York next week. I'm moving to Brooklyn. I'm still a New York City resident, but Corona forced me to move to Baltimore. But long story long, I haven't been back in New York in about 9 months, and I might continue to do this, and I might film these all over the city. So maybe I'll add some variety to the weekly aerobics by filming all over New York City. I plan on running on the west side on the river. Otherwise though, long story long, it's all about marginal differences. And today I made a plan to run a 5-minute mile where once I accomplish my goal of running a 105 400, which has kind of been my goal all of 2020 and now going into 2021, once I accomplish that 105 400 and get my 200 time a little better, then I'll try to get a better mile time though. So I still need to work on my sprint time and my smaller distances though before I go for a 5-minute mile, because I'm not even fast enough yet to really even go for a 5-minute mile physically. But long story short, I think I'm going to set a goal to go for a 5-minute mile after I accomplish these goals right now, and maybe I'll continue doing this for a little longer and I'll film it all over New York. But next week I'm moving back to New York, or next week this will be the last episode in Baltimore, and then after next week I'm moving back to New York. So 2 more episodes in Baltimore, and then I'm going back to New York. And just keep doing the same routine. Like, I got to just get stronger, get faster. My dots are improving. My diet, I keep losing focus with my diet where, like, I'll have a good week running, but then I'll eat too much. So I got to almost try to balance that out a little bit more with my nutrition, where I'm not working out hard and then overeating. That's something that bites me a lot of times, but I like to have the energy. I like to be healthy. So that's a personal choice. But otherwise, marginal differences. I made a plan to run a 5-minute mile today, and that plan is just to run in the morning and in the afternoon. So when I go for the 5-minute mile, I'm going to start running like a mile or 2 every morning when I wake up, and then running also in the afternoon, and then that'll be how I really try to PR later this year. Otherwise, I'm just going to do the dots and triple jumps today, and that'll be aerobics. But yeah, it's just marginal differences. Like, just adding a couple miles in the morning, I think, every day will probably let me PR. Because I ran a 6:07 mile in the cold the other day. There's ice on the track right now. But if I ran a 6:07 in the cold, I'm probably running about a 5:50 mile right now. So that's not that far from running a sub 5-minute mile. So I'm right there, where if I just start running in the morning or just start lifting a little more, I'll probably start breaking some of my personal records. And that's going to be something I probably go for later this year. 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. The one leg still get me. But pushing out those last few reps too, where like, you know, mentally you might think, oh, physically I'm not strong enough or this or that. But pushing out those last few reps mentally is what gives you the strength to do it next time. So those last few reps are key though. And then same thing with with sprinting. We're trying to get faster is all about those last few reps and just eking out that little bit more. And then doing that over a long period of time will eventually get you faster. So right now, I'm getting in decent shape, but I need to start focusing on marginal differences to try to get in good shape. 6, 7, 8, 9. Woo. Yeah, I got all 10 with my right leg because I had to rest. Because when I'm doing it with my left leg, my right leg is resting. The dots is a good drill though. You know, I'm going to do one side of the side-by-sides too. And just doing like a little bit of plyometrics every week helps a lot too. And like this week what I did is like Thursday, I had ran on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday already, so I had ran 3 days in a row. And then I did jumps on Sunday. So I was 4 days in a row streaking. On Thursday I was like, oh, just take a day off. Just relax today. But then I was like, actually, how about I just do sprints? I did 4 200s, which is a half a mile. Because with sprints, even a mile worth of sprints is a lot. So like just to do a half mile worth of sprints on a day where I'm tired is a lot better than not doing anything. So on days where my body's like sore, I'm gonna start doing sprints now. And try to sneak in extra sprint workouts. Where it's not that hard either because it's not that long. I'll only do like a half mile worth of sprints. I could do 400-meter dashes, and that would be a decent sprint workout. So with the sprints, it's more about like focus and like getting the most out of your reps too. It's hard though. I'm a bad sprinter. I'm bad. I'm below average. And this is like, and I'm fairly focused on it, but it's hard. It's difficult. Okay, I'm just gonna do 10 triple jumps and that'll be aerobics for today. One. It's like the scene in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles where Michelangelo is like waxing. It's like wax on, wax off. You get 10 backflips, Michelangelo. 2. 3. Otherwise, I ran 7 miles this week, but mostly sprints. So my mileage is staying about the same, but I'm running harder, trying to get faster. And it's about getting the most out of your miles though. I've said this before, but just running 100 miles at 8 and 9 minute pace, it's not really gonna help you that much. Like, you gotta try to go fast. So I wanna increase my top speed right now. Where my top speed is like 18 miles an hour, I wanna get to like 19 miles an hour, 20 miles an hour. Where a 20 mile an hour top speed is pretty good. But like 18 mile per hour top speed isn't that good. So I'm right there, but I'm not quite where I want to be. Six. I think 6, 5, 6. Breaking down the numbers is key though. Like for my 200, right now my problem is my 200 meters. So my half lap, my first half of my 400, I'm going too slow. I'm starting at like 38 seconds and finishing in like 35 seconds. whereas I need to start in like 28 seconds. So I need to get my 200 meter time down to like 26, 27, whereas I'm at like 31, 32. So I've kind of like figured out where I'm slow though. And then my 800, I need to improve also. But like this week I ran a 250 in the 800, which isn't bad. 250 is okay in the cold, in the snow. But I need to run like a 220 in the 800, which is a half mile. So my half mile right now is like 235, 240, 250. I need to get that down to like 5-minute pace. And that's what got me starting to think I could maybe run a 4-minute mile or a 4:59. Because I almost ran a 2:30 800 the other day. So I'm right there, but then it gets harder to get faster too. So like as you get better, it becomes harder to improve also. One more. Whew. And that is Orange Juice Aerobics for today. And yeah, it's icy out. I might not even run today because there's a lot of ice on the track and it's like slippery today. Sometimes when the snow is like soft, it's like not dangerous, but today it's kind of dangerous. But I ran 7 miles this week, but I've been doing mostly like 400s, 800s, 200s. So I'm doing mostly sprints. So even though my mileage is down, I'm actually running harder. But it's tough because, you know, to get your top speed from 18 to 19 miles per hour is such a little difference, but it's actually really difficult. Like, I probably need to lose about 5 pounds. I need to add a little strength to my legs. Hey, what's up, Sarah? I need to add a little strength to my legs just to get off the line quicker, because I'm not getting off the line quicker. And then like in the mile, I'm going too easy for the first lap. And then even in the quarter mile, I'm going too easy when I get off the line. Whereas like even when I was a little younger, I would just go all out right off the line. Whereas now I'm not, I'm like saving my energy a little bit too much. I'm like being like too conservative. Like I need to run a little harder. But I think I could run a 4:59 mile. I really think I can. So for the first time in a long time, I'm starting to like run some of my best times. And I'm starting to think like maybe I could actually run like a 4-minute mile. Whereas before I didn't even really know if that was possible. But it's gonna require running in the morning, eating a little healthier. I started eating more plant food. I started eating more vegetables. I got like a little grocery list that I started going with every week. So I add a little routine to my diet. But it's just like all these little marginal changes that you got to make that add up to the big change that ends up being your final time. And then I have vices too though, where I overeat too many cookies, or I don't get a good night's sleep sometimes. You know, running isn't my whole life. It's not my #1 priority all the time. But I mean, it's obviously a big part of my life, so you got to take it for what it is and you know how much pride you want to put into it. But I might set a goal to run a 4:59 mile, and I want to hit these goals. Where last year I set a goal to run a 105 400 and I ran a 108. So I still got 3 seconds to go on that. And I don't know. 4:59 in the mile is really difficult. A lot of people make it look easy on the internet and stuff, but I think it's really hard. It's 12 miles per hour for the whole mile. Well, my top speed is like 18 miles per hour. So you're talking about literally me running 66% worth of my top speed. 66% of my fastest possible speed the whole mile. So it's difficult. Whereas if I get my top speed up to 19 or 20 miles per hour, then 12 miles per hour the whole lap is only 60% of my top speed. Whereas that's more manageable from a cardiovascular standpoint. Whereas I'm being a little too hard on my body even, where I'm not fast enough, yet I'm trying to run these fast times. So I need to improve my sprints and my strength though too. But long story short, I'm training and I'm making a plan to try to break 5 in the mile either later this year or next year. And that's going to be kind of what Orange Juice Aerobics turns into, is my quest to break 5 in the mile, I think. But that's not today, that's another day. And right now we still got to cut 3 seconds off of this 400 meter time and get down to 105.